Hello viewers, welcome back. Welcome to another low budget video of some old guy in his phone. This one is going to be on antennas for handhelds and antenna breakout kits. What you're doing wrong and how to fix it. I just watched a lot of YouTube videos of various people's radio gear. Quite a few of them were airsoft players, so they have the body armor multicam plate carrier deal, and they're using one of these blade antennas. And instead of having this mounted to the handheld radio, their UV5R from Bofeng, which is what the antenna was designed for, and when put on the radio, you get great gain. These are wonderful antennas. That's why I started buying them. But when you dismount a handheld antenna from the radio, the problem you run into is your match. It's no longer usable at all, and I'm about to demonstrate that if I can just get a third hand to hold that up. So what these airsoft players and some of the prepared mindedness community guys who have the body armor and guns and stuff, what they do is they put a coax on just like this, and they run this through the molly of their plate carrier. And largely, I think it's to complete the warfighter image. But these antennas are not meant to operate off of the handheld. They're not a tuned antenna, and they require the continuity of your body while mounted to the handheld in order to be resonant. If it's not a resonant antenna, you get your signal that you're sending up the coax and into the antenna stops right here, and it comes straight back to your radio and it wrecks it. As far as your signal is concerned, this is the end of the road, and you don't really get much for transmission off of that. Not when you have a high match. A lot of the people using those Bofeng radios are using the 70 centimeter capability of it and using it on GMRS and FRS frequencies. Whatever the legislation is, I just don't care. I mean, have fun. But when you dismount it from the radio and you're running the coax, this is my VNA Nano that's hooked up to it right now. And we are scanning from 400 megahertz to 520 megahertz, which is the entire upper band of your Bofeng UV5R. It won't matter what frequency up there you're trying to use. It's going to be in here. And these dips that we're seeing, the dip here and the dip here are your lowest SWR, your lowest points of resonance. And if you look over here, you're between 5 and 6 to 1. And what you're looking for is that 1 to 1. So right now, I'm getting a 6.2 to 1. You cannot use this antenna like this. It's all of the benefit you get from that blade antenna is gone on a poor SWR. And I mean, I get it. For a lot of people, you're playing airsoft, you just want to complete the image. However, there's a much better way to go about this. I'll pause the video here and set up to show you how you go about lowering this match so that you can use it. So as you can tell, we're still doing the same 400 to 520 megahertz, and you're now watching the whole premonition of my video go straight to hell. You can see that there's a much lower SWR for most parts of the band, and now you're back into usable territory for a lot of it. And how we went about lowering that SWR and accomplishing this is a little bit of antenna theory that you pick up in amateur radio school. So what I did was I just took a piece of aluminium flat strap at 16.5 inches long. I mounted a BNC bulkhead connector to it, bent the top at a 45 degree. So here is 1 inch bent at 45 and then 16.5 inches down to make it resonant for the frequencies that I like to operate. And then I put on the HYS TC79 gooseneck blade antenna. I know that's a mouthful. You can Amazon them. And that's where I got this. They're really not that expensive. The gooseneck obviously allows you to create different angles. This aluminium flat strap for your airsoft community will slide perfectly through your molly, and you kind of lock it in by weaving the cable through your molly and then connecting it at the top. And now you'll actually have an antenna that you can transmit on, and you're not going to wreck your radio. You've pretty much already bought everything you need. Just go on Amazon, get yourself a double USB bulkhead connector, and head off to your local hardware store. All this is 1 inch by 3/8 by, I think it used to be 36 inches. Just aluminium flat strap, nothing special. And then I went ahead and I didn't want to paint it because paint scratches off. So I just went ahead and got some of this heat shrink, which fits it, well, as you can tell, perfectly. And it's a done deal. You've saved your radio. So how this works and why this works is your negative contact here is in direct contact with this metal, and your center conductor is in direct contact with the antenna, and ultimately what you're building is a dipole antenna, and you're effectively balancing out your radio signal, lowering your SWR, or lowering your impedance point here at the connector. Then you're not going to wreck your radio as fast. For a lot of you guys that buy these Bofeng radios, I heavily encourage you to go and take the radio course. It is not about obtaining your license so that you can be all legal and if it ever hits the fan, you don't care anyway. It's about obtaining the knowledge so that you don't wreck your equipment trying to fit an image. When you can just do something like this, fit the same image and not wreck your equipment. It's about knowing how to operate your equipment as opposed to having some sort of legal authority to do so. Anyway, those are just my thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Do feel free to donate your entire paycheck to my Moocher's Cup if you can find it. Bye.